done, done. Why can't we not be sober? I just wanna start this over. Why can't we dream forever? I just wanna start things over. I am just a worthless liar, I am just an imbecile. I will only complicate you, trust in me and fall as well. I will find a center in you, I will chew it up and leave. I will work to elevate you, just enough to bring you down. Mother Mary, won't you whisper something but the past and done? Done. Mother Mary, won't you whisper something but the past and done? Done. Been done. Why can't we not be sober? I just wanna start this over. Why can't we dream forever? I just wanna start things over. I am just a worthless liar, I am just an imbecile. I will only complicate you, trust in me and fall as well. I will find a center in you, I will chew it up and leave. I am just a worthless liar, I am just an imbecile. I will only complicate you, trust in me and fall as well. I will find a center in you, I will chew it up and leave. Trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me. Why can't we not be sober? I just wanna start things over. Why can't we sleep forever? I just wanna start this over. I want what I want, I want what I want, I want what I want, I want what I want.
He was born in the summer of his 27th year, coming home to a place he'd never been before. He left yesterday behind him. You might say he was born again. You might say he found a key for every door. When he first came to the mountains, his life was far away, on the road and hanging by a song. But the string's already broken and he doesn't really care. It keeps changing fast, it don't last for long. But the Colorado Rocky Mountain High, I've seen it rain and fire in the sky. The shadow from the starlight is softer than a lullaby. Rocky Mountain High, Rocky Mountain High. He climbed cathedral mountains, he saw silver clouds below. He saw everything as far as you can see. And they say that he got crazy once, and he tried to touch the sun, and he lost a friend but kept the memory. Now he walks in quiet solitude, the forest and the streams, seeking grace in every step he takes. His sight is turned inside himself to try and understand the serenity of a clear blue mountain lake. And the Colorado Rocky Mountain High, I've seen it rain and fire in the sky. Talk to God and listen to the casual reply. Rocky Mountain High, high Colorado. Rocky Mountain High. Now his life is full of wonder, but his heart still knows some fear of a simple thing he cannot comprehend. Why they try to tear the mountains down to bring in a couple more people, more scars upon the land. And the Colorado Rocky Mountain High, I've seen it rain and fire in the sky. Though he'd be a poor man if he never saw an eagle fly. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado, Rocky Mountain High, I've seen it rain and fire in the sky. Friends around the campfire, everybody's high. Rocky Mountain High, high Colorado. Rocky Mountain High, Mountain High, right Colorado. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Rocky Mountain High, Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Rocky Mountain High, Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado.
I've known faces that have disappeared in time. Find me wrapped in glass and slowly soaked in lime. All my friends have pictures made to make you cry. I've seen this and wondered what I've done to calcify. I ignore you as I close my eyes. I feel it all slipping away. I come toward you, we all got left behind. We let it all slip away. Ignore you, I ignore you as I close my eyes. I feel it all slipping away. I come toward you, we all got left behind. We let it all slip away. I can't stand to see your little mad robot face. I don't even try it. You had to be a liar just to infiltrate me. I'm still drowning.
This is Xbox Era. We're an independent, community-funded publication focused on providing the best coverage and discussion of your favourite platform, Xbox. With best-in-class forums, a kick-ass Discord server, and awesome merch, XboxEra.com is your destination for the best news, reviews, and features focused on what you care about. With shows like the Xbox Era podcast, headlines, and a whole heap of Patreon-exclusive content, we're proud to be an independent publication completely funded by you. If you value having an outlet truly focused on your preferred place to play, you can become one of the cool kids by supporting us directly via Patreon. Just head to patreon.com/Xbox Era. You get cool swag and awesome perks, and we get to keep doing what we do. Become a part of the best Xbox community on the internet and help us grow even larger. Thank you for your support. Everything Xbox Era does is only made possible by our community and the growing army of incredible Patreon supporters. Our executive producers and MVPs are an amazingly generous bunch, only shown up by the incredible support of our grand benefactors, Cryat56 and Assassin Entertainment. All of this under the watchful eye of our lovely Xbox Era CEO, Torn Raptor. This community is the best one on the internet, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. Just head to patreon.com/Xbox Era and pledge your support. Hello friends, and welcome back for another episode of Xbox Era Headlines. The date is May the 20th, 2025. I'm Jon, and today Jesse and I will talk to you about all of the latest in gaming news from across the video game industry. As a bonus for our wonderful patrons, we make audio versions of these episodes available for them to listen to in their preferred podcast app. But if they're on Spotify, they can link their accounts to Patreon and listen to it right there instead. If you want to become a Patreon legend, head over to patreon.com/Xbox Xbox era. Hello, Jesse.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Pretty good.
I missed you.
Yeah, it's been a bit. I mean, we've talked to each other a lot, but we missed on the podcast. Thankfully, Ursel was able to drive home as fast as he could to get on.
Yeah, I got ill. I think I ate something really dodgy, and I just spent the entire evening not very well, which was great. Like, I was still up at 5 a.m. when you messaged and said, "Hey, I've done this and this." I was like, "Oh God." It was bad times. Sorry, everybody, that I missed the show. And it was my birthday yesterday. I'm another year older. Yeah. Come on.
What I said? I thought it was 60 before you said no, so I jumped down 10 years. How far off could I be?
9 years off.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep. 41.
See, I was like, how come Nick doesn't look old? And it's because he doesn't have the stress we do.
Yeah.
Doing all this.
He just
shows up on the weekend and has a coffee from his wife and then just talks for 4 hours straight and then leaves.
Yeah, I couldn't make it through all 4 hours of that show. It's a lot of talking.
And he will pretend it wasn't him for like 2.5 to 3.5 hours of it. But neither myself or Soul are the most loquacious on the podcast already. So, and Nick was on one.
Indeed, good old Collingwood in the chat has a question about last week's podcast. He says, Jesse, what happened to my question in last week's podcast? It wasn't read out. Does that mean I get 2 questions this weekend?
Yes. I have no idea why your question wasn't read up.
So, this is Nick being in charge of the community questions. It just shouldn't be a thing. I should, throw my weight around a bit, take back over. It's lovely to see everybody in this Tuesday morning for most of the US right now. Hope it finds you well. Everyone's feeling good and grand and lovely and great. There's plenty to dig into this week, but weirdly, not the second wave of Game Pass.
That was the thing I had the show kind of set up to be about, and then it just hasn't come in. Which is weird. No wave 2 for Game Pass. I'm not sure why.
Not a sausage.
Nope.
I mean, I saw someone reply on Twitter saying, chill. We've had so many games. Like, don't worry about it.
Doesn't
and
matter.
I'm inclined to agree with them to a degree.
Okay.
But also, more.
Well, I just want to be able to write the blog that I had the skeleton article for.
Fair.
Because they're pretty darn consistent about it in general. I feel more zoomed in than normal. I can't get the Xbox and console wars in there, but whatever.
Extreme close up.
But yeah, it's normally 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on the first and third Saturdays or Tuesdays of the month. And nothing. So we'll see, because there are games coming. There's 2 at T, which you're working on, and there's Spray Paint Simulator, which I was going to do if it showed up in time. So, because I only have 4 reviews this week, so I need more.
Only 4.
It wasn't supposed to happen. I mean, yesterday was Roadcraft, so that review is up. I don't think it got many views, even though it's it popped up overnight. Hooray! Thank you, Europe. You're the ones who really care about those games.
That's right.
Roadcraft, very good. I think it's an 84 on OpenCritic right now. It's a real solid game. Good, slow podcast game solo. Really good co-op, because you're doing all the construction stuff, and having multiple people to load into a truck and drive alongside each other and do all that stuff is a lot faster than solo.
Yeah.
Today's review will be something coming up at the very end of this show. So keep an eye out for that. It goes live at 11 my time. So in 56 minutes. And then I got to write up Monster Train 2. I've already played through that game a month ago for the preview, because the preview was literally the full game. It's kind of weird. So I just streamed the game, because it was like, this is just the whole thing. And so now they've given me the it feels like the exact same version. We'll see. That's later in the week. And then the other one is Tainted Grail, Fall of Avalon, which I have almost no chance of beating, because it's supposed to be 60 to 70 hours and had a week.
When does it come out?
I think it comes out Friday. I forget. The game itself is out of early access. Like, you can play it now, but version 1.0, I think, is this week.
Ah, okay. Wow.
too many games. I'm also working on a review. I don't know if I'm allowed to say, so I'm just going to err on the side of
I already
caution
said
and
it.
not say. Oh, okay. I'll have a review for Annapurna's To a T coming shortly before launch and public availability. And I look forward to bringing you Xbox Era's thoughts as an entity on Splitgate 2 when the open beta launches. But I think everybody's going to be playing that to a degree that's interested. So, whoa. I guess it's a belated birthday gift from the lovely Mohammed Sherez, who's just gifted 5 Xbox Era YouTube memberships, which have been picked up by Abdul114, Justin Eade, Josiah Span, JJ2K, and Panther Blue. Welcome to the Cool Kids Club. Don't forget, new YouTube members, if you head over to Xbox Era's Discord, which is discord.gg/Xbox Era, you can access the Cool Kids Lounge, which is where all the really fun stuff happens. And also Mohammed Sherez following up with a super chat saying, gifted memberships for John's birthday yesterday. See, I don't just hate on the CEO's part-timer status. The CEO is Torn Raptor, thank you very much. And he's always around. As the boss, I am responsible for a lot more than just appearing on podcasts. Like the successful launch of our retail product, Console Wars the card game, available now. Let's run an ad because we can. What the fuck?
This is Console Wars the card game. Featuring more famous video games than you can shake a stick at, Console Wars finally allows you to win a war you've been fighting and probably losing on the internet your entire life. Quit being a keyboard warrior with the warm embrace of anonymity to protect you. Now you and your friends can fight on the front lines, battling for incredible franchises, exclusivity, and eventual victory. Collect some of the most famous video game franchises of all time. Protect them with loyal and frighteningly dedicated fans. Brave the volatile video game industry and claim the ultimate victory in the console wars. Your favorite video game making mega corporation needs you. Enlist today. Head to consolewarsgame.com. Pick up a copy of Console Wars the card game, outshine your rivals, and prove that your platform reigns supreme. Out now.
That's right. It's out now. It's been out retail since like last week, which is fun. And you can pick it up if you want one. And if you do pick it up via Amazon.com or Amazon.co.uk, I would appreciate if you would leave a lovely Amazon review. And to our friendly Australians that can't buy it yet retail, I'm sorry.
Like one Australian in the chat who just gave us another late birthday present for John.
Holy crap, a $50 super chat from CEO Torn Raptor, the real boss. I am always present, he says. That's slightly ominous. Belated happy birthday, John. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much for the generosity, as always.
Still no Game Pass drop.
Still no Game Pass drop. Well, that's okay, because there's plenty of news to talk about, including one of the most bizarre, and yet somehow this has happened 3 times already, stories of late last week, where Bungie once again seemingly confirmed that, yes, we did just accidentally borrow some art from an online artist who specializes in the kind of art style that Marathon goes for, and then proceeded to have a live stream where they pulled all of the gameplay, and instead it was just the art director looking like he was literally having the worst day of his life. In case you've been under a rock, let me kind of dive into some of that. Nutshell, an artist online known as Anti-Real, they came forward and said, hey, Bungie just stole a load of my stuff, provided evidence, and it was pretty clear cut.
Yeah.
Bungie then officially responded and said, yes, an artist that has worked for us previously, no names named.
Snidely Whiplash.
Did do that. And now we're doing a full review and we're very sorry and we'll reach out to this person and sort all this out and so on and so forth. And then they did this awful live stream, which was just Like some of the some of the still screenshots of this guy. I mean, no one looks good when they've had a still screenshot taken of them on like a live video. But honestly, it was like, you know that is it the Ben Affleck meme? Where's "Hello, darkness, my old friend"?
Yeah, when he was in the
It's just
interview
him
chair.
staring off into space, contemplating his existence. That's what it felt like. It was bad. I don't think this means good things for Bungie or for Marathon, which, you know, when we played it, we were both kind of like, eh,
Yeah,
about the whole game, as seemingly is the rest of the internet. And now this is kind of sealed, I feel. This is pure conjecture. It's sealed its fate. It's kind of the nail in the coffin, right?
it's
Um,
crazy. It's just straight up take this art asset and just smack it in the game.
yep.
Like sometimes people will do that when it's like, okay, we're just setting up what's our vibe, what do we want to look like, what are we going to be? And every once in a while, you might forget to remove the thing that you just grabbed to give you inspiration. Because, I mean, that is how a lot of art works. You are inspired by other things. You'll plop
That's
it up
fair.
and be like, that's amazing looking. I want to try and figure out what's my version of something like that, which is fine. But when it's exactly everything directly from your thing, but pulled off in a way to not, it's not the original piece. Like it's a tiny part of the original piece that we just used all over the place on other things. And like so
Some
much of what she
some of
came up
it's
with.
so egregious that you know, the artist had their signature in it, and there were bits where it had been deliberately run through like different filters, and you could kind of just see the remnants of the signature still. It's just, it's bad. Um, but now we're in the chaotic time. So Bungie admitted that that had happened. Doing a full review, they pulled new gameplay from their gameplay stream, leading to the most awkward live stream of recent memory. And then Paul Tassi from Forbes did an article with his sources. Obviously, Paul Tassi is known for writing quite extensively about Destiny, um, about how the morale at Bungie is at an all-time low,
Mm.
and basically it's chaos. He writes, and I'll put a link in the chat to his piece if you wish to dive in. But I'll pull out some nuggets. All of this is happening, he writes, after another not great time period for Marathon in the last few weeks, starting with the gameplay reveal, then its closed alpha, both of which received mostly mixed to negative feedback, which I feel is a fair assessment. I don't remember hearing from anyone
There
going,
were some
Marathon's the
people
best
that
thing I've ever played.
quite enjoyed it, but those were people who had groups. It's very much a where is the fun to be had solo? Unless you play the person who can go invisible and then you just go do some basic quests in there, like you're just going to get rocked by pretty much every NPC and every other player group if you are alone.
Yeah. Paul Tassi spoke to some current and former employees about Bungie's excuse for the art theft, about studio morale, and the possibility of a delay, and some of the changes that it might come to playtesting the game. And here's what he's learned. He's bullet pointed it, which is lovely. The public explanation for the art theft, that one ex-employee taking things in 2020, is the same one being given internally at Bungie among the rank and file. Sony and Bungie Legal are now sorting through this, and there is unlikely to be any much new information as all of this continues to unfold. It is not clear how long an audit will take of the assets to remove or find any more plagiarism, as it's an expensive enough process to not have Bungie showing any of its footage at all in its recent live stream. Morale is in a free fall across all departments, and the vibes have never been worse. Everyone has the same concerns about what happens to Bungie as a studio if Marathon bombs, which is something they can't really afford. There are no hints or jokes about a delay from the September release internally, so we don't know what's going to happen there. And it's interesting because he did a follow-up piece to this where he just said, I'm just saying it, Marathon is done. It's not going to succeed. I don't know if anyone's read that one.
Which probably wasn't easy for him to write since he Destin and Fran Mirabella started a Destiny or a Marathon podcast a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's like, man.
Whoops. It's just over for Marathon, was what he wrote. He's, you know, and he goes, I'll let people read it if they want to read it, but he goes into the entire idea of the game was a mistake. The gameplay isn't good enough. Yeah, he really does rip this apart. It's a premium product. It's multiplayer only. And the plagiarism stuff has just meant that any time this is brought up now, you know what gamers with a capital G are like. They're just going to hammer it with nothing positive to say. It's yeah, and I don't disagree with him. I think this is an unavoidable, and I hate to sit there like an armchair developer and be like, but from a pure business standpoint, this is kind of cooked. It's done.
You know,
I
it's
don't
not
think it's
cooked.
going to succeed.
Also, where's the card game? Come on, Sony. Give us a deal.
Exclusive.
We won't be $3
PlayStation 5.
billion. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Bus Flipper Simulator coming this year to Steam. What the fuck? It's not flipping buses. It's making them real nice and selling them, I guess. What a weird, like RVs. I don't know why it's called bus. Whatever.
Sorry,
we get the weirdest emails.
Why are we talking a bus? What?
It's in my email right now. I just saw Bus Flipper Simulator brings bus restorations to Steam later this year.
Bus flipper. Okay.
Yeah. But it's like RV. It's like a Winnebago. Okay. But yeah, no. Marathon wasn't bad, but neither was Concord. But the vibes around it are not good. And I see people being like, oh, just delay it at this point. It's like, I doubt they can. Sony, like all the reports were Sony is, this has to come out now because they wanted it. And like the rumors were reportedly internally they wanted 2026. But Sony's like, no, Destiny's not making enough money this year. And it has to, and Paul Tassi had also said he had heard it had to be in the top 5 releases of the year to be able to be considered a success by Sony.
Good luck.
So if that's the case, like it's not going to happen because that's only the biggest goddamn things. Like I don't even think Helldivers made it there. Or if it did, it's like 1 in a million. It's super hard to actually get there above all the stuff that's already there. The main issue, and it was really smart on the Arc Raiders team part, but like going from Marathon and being like, this isn't bad, but I don't know why I keep playing it, to Arc Raiders where I'm like, oh, this is very good.
This is
and
fun.
I just want to keep playing it. Like I'm not looking for the hook. It just has me. It just was not good timing for them. And then it does not feel complete at all. As where something like Arc Raiders feels so much more complete coming right after it. But with Marathon, it's more like, we're going to work on proximity chat, which is like an enormous thing in a game like this. To be able to talk to people around you so you can group up if you want, because you don't have to fight each other. But when you can't talk to anyone, they're just always an enemy and you're going to shoot them in the head. Yeah. And the whole progression loop, when you compare the two, it's night and day. Like it was just very, very bad luck on the timing for their part with how much further ahead it felt like Arc Raiders was.
Yeah, I did see, I've got to call it out because it did make me laugh. I think it was NC in the chat. Arc Raiders. Forget Art Raiders was one joke that was being made online. Thank you, NC, for reminding me of that one. That did make me giggle.
And this is the 4th time in 4 years, I think, to have art plagiarism or asset theft accusations, which always seem to be true. The other ones were like some model work that they had outsourced for Destiny.
Yeah,
but it still just always comes back to, well, you are the one constant in this with Bungie, so it's really hard to give them much benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I think over the years there was a Nerf gun that had its decals modeled for Destiny, a Destiny Nerf collaboration. There was a piece of art where it was blatantly ripped off for a cutscene, and something else. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's not good. It's not good for Bungie. You know, a storied, legendary studio, but people like to remind people that really love Rare and say, the Rare you love is gone, man. Same diff. The Bungie that you might have loved is not the same Bungie of like 2007, as an example. I'm just saying. Oh my God, Jade just slides in with another 5 Xbox Era gift memberships. This is a generous crew of folks today. Welcome to the Cool Kids Club Protea, RSA, Gamesley's Notebook, Tokyo Maestro, Destity 11, and Gavin House all have new memberships, courtesy of Jade.
Yeah, thank you. We are now fully set for Summer Games Fest. We are going to LA. Everything's bought. Everything's booked. Our schedules are probably too full. Yep. We will have a lot to talk to you about. We will be doing double streams live from there, the podcast on Saturday and then the co-stream of the Xbox show on Sunday. So that'll be fun to set up in our hotel room and hang out with Nick. That podcast will obviously be a lot later in the day than normal. So it might be like, I don't know, 7 or 8 Eastern time, maybe 9.
It'll be whenever the showcase shows.
Well, the
half hour before.
Well, the
afterwards.
Xbox Era, the podcast, the prediction podcast the day before, will be late in the evening U.S. time, because obviously we will be on Pacific time instead of our U.S. East.
That's true.
So it might end up being like 9 or 10. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll figure it out.
But it'll be a perfect time for us and a perfect time for Nick, so it'll still go pretty long, I'm sure.
Mohammed says, what are the dates for the live streams? We'll get them scheduled up, but obviously one of them is on.
Yeah, we know it's the Saturday and the Sunday around it. So Saturday the 7th and Saturday the 7th's podcast will be late in the day. And then 8 o'clock, or the 8th is on the showcase, which is 11 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. So roughly about 4.5 hours before the podcast normally starts.
Yeah.
So, and we'll go live a little before then.
A friendly reminder to all of the new members, head over to discord.gg/Xbox Era. You can also head over to the forums, forum.xboxera.com. You do have perks. If you sign in as whatever account you've got linked to your YouTube, you'll be able to access the Cool Kids Club in the Discord and on the forums. And if your membership lasts for the whole month, you can get in on community questions this weekend for the podcast, all sorts.
Mm-hmm.
It's all fun. Why not, eh? Next up in news, despite the success of Call of Duty as a franchise, Microsoft are shutting down Call of Duty Warzone Mobile. Everyone kind of was like, oh, I thought the whole point of buying Activision was for the mobile thing. It was for King, not specific game. But yeah, this feels a little weird. But then I guess they have access to all the player metrics that we don't, right?
Well, you also
Call
know
of Duty,
this is the second one. There's already another Call of Duty mobile.
yeah, this is Warzone Mobile. That's the important
A
distinction.
lot of people seem to think, oh, the Call of Duty mobile game didn't work. I was like, no, the Call of Duty Warzone second mobile game didn't take off. But Call of Duty Mobile still going strong.
Warzone, however, is being shut down by Activision after it failed to meet their expectations, with a full delisting coming in the next few days. It was always on a Friday. That's when all the bad news is posted. Activision announced Call of Duty Warzone Mobile will be delisted on iOS and Android after it failed to meet their expectations. Activision said, "We deeply appreciate your dedication and passion." I don't know if anyone has dedication and passion for Call of Duty Warzone Mobile, but going forward, we'll be streamlining the scope of the game. This decision was made after careful consideration of various factors, and while we're proud of the accomplishment in bringing Warzone Mobile in an authentic way, it unfortunately has not met our expectations with mobile-first players like it has with PC and console audiences. As a result, we will no longer be delivering new seasonal content and gameplay updates to the mobile version. Effective immediately, players will no longer be able to purchase COD points or Black Cell using real currency in Call of Duty Mobile, Warzone Mobile. And Sunday, May 18th, will be the last day the game can be downloaded from the Google Play and Apple App Stores. Social features across both platforms will be retired. There you go.
I see Mohammed Sherez asking, why didn't they just add it to COD Mobile? And I think it's a different tech stack meant to be more in sync with the console and PC game. And they wanted to double dip, I imagine, and get people to pay for both. I had to guess.
Sounds like Activision, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a reasonable, it played well considering it was a mobile.
Yeah,
thing,
and with how big, like PUBG Mobile is one of the biggest games on the planet, which most people never seem to remember.
Yeah. But yeah, it's over now for Warzone Mobile.
This is very much just a Call of Duty game. This guy seems to actually be playing it with touch controls, which is insane. But I think most of the good players play with like a backbone or something. Or they emulate it and run on their PC.
Yeah, just so they can own all the people that are using touch controls.
It wouldn't look this good in BlueStacks, though. I know that.
Yeah. But there you go. See you later, Warzone Mobile. We barely knew you. Next up in news, the Gears of War movie is trying to get Will Leitch. Is that am I saying his name
Yep.
correctly? Good.
I think it's
Good for
David
me.
Leitch. I think this Will is. I had it in wrong. I don't know why I typed Will.
Oh, you did. It is David Leitch.
David
David
Leitch.
Leitch
Yeah.
as director. Leitch and Kelly McCormick are co-producing the Netflix video game adaptation via the 87 North banner, along with gaming company The Coalition. If you didn't know who David Leitch was, he directed Fall Guy, which actually was quite good fun.
Yeah, it was great. It was a huge bomb, but it was a really good movie.
Yeah, I think he did Deadpool 2.
And Bullet Train, which was also really good.
Liked,
Yeah.
Fun. He's a good director. I'll definitely say that.
Yeah. He gets the good mix of comedy in there without it being dumb.
But I mean, and that sounds perfectly for Gears of War, except Gears of War is quite dumb. But he's also working with some other big names. John Spates, who worked with Denis Villeneuve on Dune, which is like an awesome couple of movies, is writing the script for the feature. I mean, that sounds like a good partnership to me. That sounds like it could be a good video game movie.
Yeah, they're in negotiations. We'll see how it ends up going.
Oh, and Shine Films in the chat says the first John Wick movie.
Yeah, he co-directed. He didn't get credit, but he worked on it with Chad Stahelski.
Yeah. Nice. NC in the chat. Terry Crews for Cole.
I think they want young people so they can go for a while.
No, why do they always want young people?
Because if it's the beginning of the story, they're not in their 50s. The beginning of the story, they're in their like 20s.
But I want Batista. Batista wants Batista.
Oh, I mean,
come on.
Timing doesn't work.
Well, I'm not happy about this. I don't know about anybody else.
Yeah, if they're starting with Gears 4, there you go. Just jump to the sequel. That'll make sense for people.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan. Let's do that. But yeah, Netflix hasn't commented on the apparent deal. This obviously came via the Hollywood Reporter. But the film and the game will presumably be set on Sarah, a planet on the brink of societal collapse when a monstrous threat in the form of underground creatures known as the Locust take humanity to the verge of extinction. Boom. Grind. Lovely.
Grind.
I would happily watch a Gears of War movie, so there you go. What else have we got? Xbox has shown off some new UI customization tools. This was part of the kind of insider update, which was a rare blog post that went out on Friday afternoon, my time.
It was a good one.
They've effectively let you kind of hide the annoying system apps that you maybe don't want to be seen on your dashboard. You can pin your favorite games to the homepage straight away.
Tom Warren hasn't played anything since Hellblade came out.
On his Xbox?
Yeah, when he hides the system apps, it just has Hellblade there, nothing else.
Wow. He's a PC boy, though, isn't he?
No.
Shocking. You can reduce the tile count, so you can have less tiles.
That's coming in the future, the reduced tile counts one. So they're working on it. Right now, it is the pin. You can pin, I think, up to 3 apps to always be there. And you can hide system apps, and they're working on adding in the control the overall tile count. And people got very mad and said they should let you get rid of all the ads down below. And I was like, well, then everything would go up in price.
Yeah. They have a contractual obligation with whoever they make the ads for.
Half the time it's just them.
Just for games.
Yeah.
So it's like, who cares?
Because a lot of people, you and I aren't in the group of people that leave our dashboard up. I think as OLED boys, the last thing I want to do is just leave anything up ever. Like if I'm not using my computer, I turn the screen off every time. So for me, I'm on the dashboard like 10 seconds at a time at the most. But there are some people who might leave it up because they like the thing. At the very least, you could go to settings and dynamic background and just press X on it, and it'll just be your dynamic background, nothing else, as you preview it.
Exciting. Thrilling, one might say.
Mm.
Still, good.
Yeah,
good
more
stuff.
options are never bad.
Yeah, no complaints. Elsewhere in news, and I probably should have linked this to the other Call of Duty story now I think of it.
Oh, yeah.
Black Ops, or whatever future Call of Duty game is going to be this year, it might have wall running in it. because Cold Warfare on Twitter had posted some data mining screenshots that indicated wall running may be back in Call of Duty Black Ops 7. The Cold Warfare account posted screenshots, which we've linked on xboxhero.com, that indicate that wall running is back. And then I think they turned I swear I saw like people wall running in the current Call of Duty, like turning stuff on in mods or something like that. Maybe I'm looking at but I swear it was recent maps that I've played in the new Black Ops, and people were wall running. But yeah, it had a tag in there, some code that says player command allow wall run. Maybe it's a new mode. Maybe it's whatever. I don't know.
Well, I think there wasn't the rumor on this one that it's the expand alone that moves ahead to the future as like a direct sequel to 2 or something. I forget what the hell it was. There was something about that. The Black Ops 2. It's all. If Tom Henderson was in the chat, he could tell us because he's the one who's been leaking all of it.
Oh, that sounds like something he would do. Biggest journalist in the world, though. So
yeah, he's enormous. He's like 700-800 pounds.
Massive guy.
Yeah. He's 14 feet tall, so he carries it well.
Yeah, he like makes the ground quake when he walks around.
He was the inspiration for the Doom guy when they met him at Gamescom last year.
Yeah, they were like, quick, back to the drawing board.
Yep.
They were just going to make Doom Eternal too, but they changed their mind when they met Tom.
I can't believe how quick they turned around that trailer for the Xbox show a few days later.
Incredible work from Mid, yeah, absolutely. But there you go. I mean, I don't know. Like, lots of people say they love Titanfall and the gameplay style and the wall running, and yet when I look at the sentiment around wall running in Black Ops, people are like, "No, boo! What's going on? What's the?"
It was squirty fart jumps into slow wall runs. It didn't feel nearly as good as Titanfall to me.
Okay, fair. Interesting. It would be funny if Activision made a new Call of Duty and, much to Brit in the chat, called Mechfall, let's call it that. And they basically made Titanfall 3, but in Call of Duty, and didn't call it Titanfall, but had mechs and stuff. Wouldn't that be cool?
As a sequel to Infinite Warfare, where we're out in the stars. And, yeah.
Let's do that.
Have a paramilitary versus like a resistance group. Why not?
Yeah, sounds like every other sci-fi conflict ever. But fine.
Instead of BT, it's BD because big dick. And he's got weed symbols all over him because it's Call of Duty.
Yeah. Call of Duty. Oh, bless it. Okay. All right. Next up in news, Overwatch 2 skins with their Street Fighter collaboration are finally being shown off. And it's out yesterday. So if you haven't got them yet, you can go get them.
Or it's out today.
I don't know. I thought, well, I'm reading the article. It's from yesterday and it says out today. Or unless you've written out today. Oh, no, it is out today.
Yeah, out the 20th. There's Cammy's butt.
Okay.
With people like her butt isn't nearly as big because in Overwatch, it's the characters of Overwatch cosplaying. So they don't give you the ridiculous over-the-top models you'd get in a Street Fighter. But I mean, it's still just all about her butt anyways. And her butt's huge. But yeah, they look cool. They're probably going to be a lot of goddamn money to buy them all. There's some stuff out there about how you can buy the bundle you want type of stuff. And it's just like, I cannot imagine how expensive this is going to be. They look neat. Nick's going to buy Chun-Li, and he's never going to play the game once because he needs help.
What? So let me get this straight. He doesn't play Overwatch.
He's never once played Overwatch his entire life, and he's like, I got to buy that Chun-Li. He buys every Chun-Li skin. And people are like, how come it's always these same characters getting skins? It's because these are the characters that people buy skins for. So you're just only ever going to see skins for them because people don't go out and buy skins for the less bangable characters.
I don't understand.
Nick.
Yeah.
These look really cool,
there you
though.
go. They do. I mean, they're great idea. Great idea for all the. I
bought the One Punch Man bundle. My Doomfist can dress up like Saitama. I won't complain. But I also have like, I don't know, 1,500 hours in Overwatch or something. It was like what me and Amanda and Travis played all the time together. That and Battlefield 5. So.
Big thank you to David H, who's just donated to our travel fund for onto our PayPal. Much love to you, sir.
Yeah, that pretty much covered like the hotel, which was a lot of fucking money. So that's an enormous help. Thank you. Hey, YouTube
we got
crash.
a super chat. We got a super chat in from Shane G, who's $2 says, "Why do Steam numbers drive so many terrible takes?"
Because people click on them.
This.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. So, like, the general gist is this: people like arguing about stuff, and when there's very little data, you can take the one data point you do have, and as a writer, or as a website, or as an organization, or as an individual, you can extrapolate a whole barrel of bullshit that you could theorize to support any narrative you want to support. And that's what people like to focus on. I mean, you could always boil it down to, if there's loads and loads and loads of Steam concurrent numbers, then the game's doing pretty great. But the second it's like not loads, well, let's theorize about where it's failed and why. And it's like, I don't know. If you're into that,
they've added to it now that they're giving pretty much their entire history of monthly sales charts. So they have like the platinum, gold, silver, bronze for every month going all the way back to when they opened in, I think, 2007. Like, started selling stuff. So that'll just be something people mine all the time for more, because it's very easy A versus B versus however many you need content to just drive engagement.
And people click it and
like
complain about it.
Even with Starfield, it was Steam was about a quarter. So Starfield was on Xbox Series X and S, Microsoft Store, Steam. And Steam ended up being about a quarter of its, when they said we're at 1.25 million players, when it was at around 250K on Steam. Doom is on Xbox Series S and S, PlayStation 5, Microsoft Store and PC, Battle.net, and Steam. And it has done mediocre as hell on Steam. So,
yeah, like 30K or something.
One of the main issues with Doom the Dark Ages, as pointed out on Windows Central and other places, they really overpriced that game globally.
Yeah.
It is way more expensive than most titles are outside of the US market. Really weird. Probably an experiment to see if they could get away with it. I'm hoping they don't. I'm hoping people are speaking with their wallets and not buying that game, because it's really overpriced. As good as it is, it should not cost that much outside of America.
It's regional pricing is awful for that game.
And I know one reason they really started upping regional pricing is because of the gray market resellers. But man, that's rough.
Either that, or it's a Trojan horse to go, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to subscribe to Game Pass. But like either way, yeah, it's a bit. Doom's great though. I've completed Doom now.
Mm-hmm. I told
really
them,
liked it.
Yep, it swayed you in the long run.
Yeah, by the end, I was like, this is great. Yeah, so much so that I do actually want to go back and do all the collectibles and stuff, which is rare.
It's just fun. It's such a fun game to play that it's a nice excuse. It's not like I don't give a shit about the collectibles. I just want the excuse to go back and go through these levels. And since you're so goddamn strong by the end, just upping the difficulty and going back and tearing through everything.
Good game. Expensive, but good game.
Yeah. Not expensive if you own Game Pass, which I think most of us would assume is probably going to go up in price soon.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah, probably. Next up in news, PlayStation executive Jade Raymond has left the studio she founded. This is Haven Studios, which are currently developing Sony's online shooter Fair Games, which has no longer got a $sign at the end of it.
I should have put co-founded. She was one of 5 original founders.
Fair enough. But yes, she's left. We don't know where she's gone. PlayStation leader didn't give Haven staff a reason for her departure, but it did come several weeks after an external test of Haven's first game, writes Jason Schreier over at Bloomberg. The online shooter Fair Games, according to people with knowledge of the matter. Some developers at Haven were concerned about how the game was received and its progress, who asked not to be identified because they aren't authorized to speak publicly.
You remember the E3 of Nightmares? That was their 2023, where they had Fair Games, Marathon, and Concord all in the same show.
Yes,
like,
I do.
Wow.
all three are doing great.
Yeah. I mean, it ended with Spider-Man 2, so people really liked it.
Yeah, they
but
forgot
they're
about
good
all
at
the rest.
that, where it's like have a okay to mediocre show, but end on something good. Like with Ghost of Yote at the State of Play last year, like mediocre State of Play, but hey, Ghost of Yote looks great, so I'm happy. Like they're
Yeah.
smart about that.
Always end on a high.
And we will get to your super chat after this one, Brandon. But
Yeah.
I forgot it's still only been a CGI trailer.
Yeah, we've never seen gameplay from their
Yeah.
games.
Okay.
I mean, Jade Raymond has got to be like the most cursed video game developer.
Had an amazing run. Yeah, we went over it on the podcast. She had like a ridiculously good run of working on stuff at Ubisoft. She did. So she was at Electronic Arts, worked on The Sims Online as a producer, then as a producer on Assassin's Creed 1, executive producer on 2, Bloodlines, Splinter Cell Blacklist, and Watch Dogs, and then managing director on Unity and Far Cry 4, and then executive producer on The Mighty Quest for Epic Loot, and a group general manager for Battlefront 2, and nothing since, after going to Google with Stadia for something, and that being canceled, and now this, who knows, like really, really weird last 8 years of her career.
It's an odd one.
Yeah.
Oh, well, best of luck, Jade, wherever you've ended up. I hope that that was you resigning rather than being fired. I don't know. I don't know the infos. Best of luck. It's a bit awkward.
Got a super chat.
If we do have a super chat from Brandon Mem, just referencing our conversation around Doom the Dark Ages. He says the Doom Dark Ages Steam numbers are not great, but PC Game Pass numbers went up 33%. Source, please, Batman.
It was 45% in the last quarterly report.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Game Pass will get more subscribers because of this economy. You save money. I mean, I don't disagree with the premise.
They'd also they'd really prefer to have good Game Pass numbers and sell a shit ton at full cost.
Well, I think that their strategy effectively revolves around having their cake and eating it, right?
Mm-hmm.
We want everybody that's got an Xbox and owns a Windows PC to consider at least subscribing and remaining subscribed to Xbox Game Pass in some form. But hey, everyone else, like Steam or Epic or wherever, or PlayStation 5 primarily, the biggest console market, you buy our games for $70 to $80 a pop because, you know, if that's the biggest market and Game Pass isn't available there, enjoy spending all that money because we're going to become an absolute powerhouse of a publisher, which they have been this year, right? Like it's been nuts, and we're not even halfway through. But yeah, I agree that, you know, if I was a savvy person, I would be saving my pennies and subscribing to Game Pass, and I am, and I do.
And you get a lot of codes for free.
I very rarely get a code for free. I get one yearly code a year. Wait. Anyways, in other PlayStation news, Helldivers 2, which is a fucking great game from Arrowhead, it's had its new big Take the Fight to Super Earth, which looks incredibly cool and fun and great. So it's having a little bit of a resurgence of late.
Mm-hmm.
And the studio, Arrowhead, their next game is actually going to be free from PlayStation partnership. So they've said themselves on their public Discord that their next game will be all theirs and there'll be no more PlayStation partnership resulting in a one console exclusivity. The wonderful thing is that thanks to the support of you fine people, wrote Shams Georgiani, Arrowhead's future is quite bright and we have the freedom to explore some really cool concepts that we wouldn't have had otherwise. Game 6, our next project, will happen the way it will happen thanks to you. The next game is 100% funded by ourselves, so we'll call 100% of those shots.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting referencing that.
Yeah.
Because there were shots that were called for them that they did not really like, Arrowhead.
Yeah, they would have just like making a lot more money with Helldivers because the game does okay on PlayStation. I think it's like generally in the 30s on player count. Whenever they have their big lists, like it's fine, but it does really well on Steam. And developers just want to have more people play more stuff that they put out.
Yeah. And people were immediately like, "Oh, you didn't like Sony. How dare you, hate our blessed PlayStation overlords?" And he said, "No. PlayStation are great.
Yeah.
There would be no Helldivers if it wasn't for them. We're open to working with them again in the future, and they are incredibly game dev oriented, solid partners. This is just me saying like it is, not blowing up smoke up their asses." Fair enough. I like this guy. I like the cut of his jib. Cool. I mean, if Arrowhead's next game is, Helldivers-esque but bigger and in their own universe that they own the IP for, and it's everywhere, I'll be there for it. Like, these guys know how to make some fun multiplayer stuff together, which is great. So happily jump on. Good for them.
Got a super chat that I have a good answer for.
Well, then, sir, please, I will pass the super chat reading reins over to you.
Is that allowed?
Yeah, it's allowed. I'm not Nick.
Late to launch. If Game Pass goes above 20 a month, how much of a deal is it really? People started unsubbing from Netflix due to how much the price has gone up. It just doesn't make sense. And unfortunately, Netflix has never had more subscribers, and it has only ever gone up year over year.
Yeah.
So people don't put their money where their mouth is. They just keep consuming.
Yeah. It's a tricky one. I think games is different. I will agree with it. Games are different. They're more of a time sink.
Yeah.
And the reality is as the biggest market for video games, which is people between 30 and 50.
Mm-hmm.
Shock horror, the group that grew up with console exclusivity and all of that jazz, they're the biggest market. As we become busier and have jobs and lives and stuff, like our availability to play lots and lots and lots of different things changes.
And as Phyllis talked about, Game Pass isn't for everyone. Game Pass is for the people that it makes sense monetarily for. Like, if I buy 1 or 2 games a year, why would I be the type of person who's going to buy Game Pass? Yeah. If I want to play a different thing every month, and it's in the service, then I sub to Game Pass. And pretty much they really want that initial sub because they know most people never think to unsub.
Yeah, that's true. But, the math, if it goes to $20 a month, right, which is a lot, and if someone's paying monthly and not using like a key for a discounted budgeted version, or they're using their reward points or whatever. But if you buy more than 2 or 3 games a year from Microsoft's first party staple at $80 a pop, then it technically still makes sense. If you know you're always going to be the type of gamer that does that, it makes no sense not to. But
as game prices go
down
up,
to choice.
Yeah, like as game prices go up, you have to assume Game Pass will go up. So the moment they said $80 games, I assume $23 to $25 Game Pass eventually.
Yeah,
and if they have other tiers, PC will definitely go up because PC's growing. And as long as they feel they can get away with it, they will want more than the $15 a month that they'd want for $13 a month PCs. They probably want a couple bucks here and there and slowly creep it up over time because
yeah.
But also, if you only play online games, you still need some form of Game Pass to do that if it's not free to play. So they get you that way too. But maybe not in the future. If all the rumors about the Xbox that's a PC that gives you lockdown versions of PC games is the truth about how the future goes. Because if they try to charge for goddamn online multiplayer and PC, riots.
Yeah.
And no one would ever use them again. Wouldn't
happen.
No.
Last few news stories to kind of hammer through now before we call it. Neil Druckmann from Naughty Dog is reportedly working on a second unannounced game at Naughty Dog. This comes via Andy Robinson over at VGC. He revealed that he's involved in a second unannounced project alongside his sci-fi game Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet. Andy Robinson writes that Naughty Dog has historically struggled to work on multiple large games simultaneously, and following the cancellation of its Last of Us online game 17 months ago, it was unclear whether it would be destined to continue focusing on a single main project, even though it insisted at the time it was planning multiple games. Speaking to the Press X to Continue podcast, Druckmann has reiterated that Naughty Dog is still working on at least 2 projects and confirmed he's producing an unannounced game alongside Intergalactic. We have several directors on Intergalactic, he said. I work with 2, Matthew Gallant and Kirk Marganou, and I co-writer in Claire Carey. There are many times when I'm away and they're in charge, and I get to come back and be surprised and enjoy certain choices they made. And other ones I pull my hair out over and we have to change course or argue about it. Okay, Neil. There's another game that's being worked on at Naughty Dog where I'm in more of a producer role and I get to mentor, watch this other team and give feedback and be the executive in the room. There you go. 2 games from Naughty Dog. That's exciting, isn't it?
Especially if they haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah.
They used to do it all the time.
Next up, Injustice 3 could be in development, according to a Multiverses data miner. This comes via Jordan Midler over at VGC. An account that has a history of posting information about Multiverses. Content before it was officially revealed has teased that a new game in the Injustice franchise is in development. Multiverses shutting down is an injustice, and then doing it all again is another injustice, reads the post on X from Multiverse Susie. Leaving me without any leaks is yet again another injustice, they continued, and they followed up with a reply reading 3. Oh, they wrote injustice 3 times and then put the number 3.
Wow.
How did we read between those lines? The last game, Injustice 2, was released in 2017. Obviously, this would be published by Warner Brothers, who have had a rough old time outside of the absolutely monstrous smash hit that is Hogwarts Legacy, which sold 34 million copies.
Not on.
Wow. Last couple of stories for today before we close things out for you, lovely lot. Human Fall Flat publisher Curve Games has been acquired by Nazara Technologies for £21.6 million. This comes via Chris Scullion over at VGC. Curve Games is a UK-based publisher, and Nazara Technologies is based in Mumbai in India, and acquired them for $29 million or £21.6 million. They acquired Fusebox Games last year, and now they know. Now they have Curve Games. So these guys published Human Fall Flat, Dungeons of Hinterberg, The Ascent, Lawn Mowing Simulator, Lone Survivor, and Stealth Incorporated.
The first game that got me harassed, liking The Ascent. Yeah.
How dare you?
I know.
Great game. I actually got the weird urge to replay that.
It's really fun. It's just a very fun game. It also had really good DLC that had one of the worst end bosses ever. But every other part of the DLC was great. And hopefully they patched it since. The end boss was just like infinitely harder than every other part of the DLC. It was really weird.
Yeah. But yeah.
Most people probably most people probably never even ascended in that game, I bet.
Hey. Last story. I don't, you know more about this than me, so perhaps you can fill me in as a pleb. SAG-AFTRA has filed a ULP charge. So ULP stands for Unfair Labor Practice Charge against Llama Productions, which is a subsidiary of Epic Games, because of, and this is where I want you to keep me honest, because of
a contract they signed that said if any AI voice work was going to be done, they would get notice about it, and they didn't give it that for this Darth Vader AI in the Fortnite universe that was also saying a lot of really racist stuff until they patched it.
Yes, I've seen some of the hilarious outtakes of James Earl Jones' voice being used in less than savoury ways. However, James Earl Jones is sadly no longer with us, and he gave permission to the Disney Corporation for his voice to be used in whatever way they deemed fit. For the Darth Vader character specifically.
Yeah, so it's not about that. It's about the they were part of a group of publishers that signed an AI focused, we will not put AI in games without forewarning you about stuff contract.
But I mean, I'm just arguing devil's advocate. If this was an alive actor that they didn't have a specific contract with to do this already, Yeah, I'm basically saying extenuating circumstances. I can understand Llama Productions being like, why would we contract you? He's dead. Like, he already signed the thing. We own his voice. We can do what we like with it. There's no unfair labor practice. There was no labor. The guy is no longer with us.
It's
Like,
just,
do you understand why?
It's a precedent-setting thing where if you let them get away with doing it in this case, then they will try and get away with it in other cases where it doesn't make as much logical sense. Because the contract is, if you're going to do any AI voice work, got to let us know. Doesn't matter what the reason they're doing AI voice work. It's just if you're doing AI voice work, you must let us know you agreed to that.
Wow.
And then they didn't do it.
Well, there you go. They did say that we must protect our right to bargain terms and conditions around the use of voice that replace the work of our members, so members of that union, including those who previously did the work of matching Darth Vader's iconic rhythm and tone in video games. Fortnite's signatory company, Llama Productions, chose to replace the work of human performers with AI technology. Unfortunately, they did so without providing any notice of their intent to do this and without bargaining with us over appropriate terms. As such, we filed an unfair labour practice charge with the NLRB against Llama Productions.
Yeah, it's just when it's always about precedence, and if you let it go one time, it's kind of like copyright law in the United States. You let it go once, you kind of screw yourself on ever stopping it from going again. So I get where they're coming from.
Yeah, but there you go. That's it. That's all the news, pretty much. There's some other there's some fluff. I think the only other one that's worth mentioning, and it is a big one, so I will quickly sneak it in here. Is Nintendo and Samsung. If you haven't seen this, this is basically Nintendo signing a deal with Samsung to make Switch 2 chips in a move that could ramp up production. This was via Bloomberg. This was by Yulim Lee and Takahashi on Bloomberg, and they've said that Nintendo and Samsung have teamed up to make chips for the Switch 2, and that will allow them to sell a higher than projected 20 million units by March of 2026. Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. Samsung making the chips for Switch 2, right?
Yeah, because it's like the NVIDIA process, but they were using a Samsung node, so it wasn't like TSMC. It's not an impressive thing hardware-wise if you're a nerd, but it's just exactly what it needs to be for most people who care about Nintendo games. So
it's fine. You know, that's cool. Yeah, there you go. That's all the news. We've done it. We've completed it together.
I got a review going live in 3 minutes.
Oh, what is the review for? Can you say?
Nope. Can never say until it's live, unless it's a very specific situation.
Do you want to stay live for another 3 minutes?
Nah,
just so you
doesn't matter.
know?
Nope.
I mean, I think you could just say it. Like, it's not going to make a big difference. So stick around to the Xbox Series YouTube
spell
channel.
it out.
B.
Nope, you can't say it.
Oh. I've lost what the letters are. I'm just going to look on the YouTube channel what it is.
The one I've been complaining to you about a lot.
My brain.
Pretty much non-stop complaining to you about this game.
My old Oh, that game. Yeah, okay. Yeah, stick around. There's a review going live for a game. in like a minute and a half.
So the next thing I get harassed about, who knows?
Yeah, maybe you'll be out there on an island on your own, and everyone else will be like.
Well, that's it. That's the show. We'll be back on Thursday with who knows what. Maybe the Wave 2 of Game Pass will show up.
Yeah, who knows? We don't know. But it's been lovely hanging out with you guys, and thank you ever so much, chat, for all the generosity, the super chats, the gifted subs. Welcome to all of our new YouTube members. Come and head over to the Cool Kids Club on the Xbox Era Discord or on our forums, or both. Why not? The choice is yours. And last but not least, don't forget, if you've got someone you love in your life that loves video games, why not pick up a copy of Console Wars, the card game? The correct game to buy if you're a big video game nerd and want to support us directly.
Open one?
I have an unopened one.
Well, you want an opened one, because the unopened one in its plastic is just reflecting everything in your room.
Yeah, but I want to leave this sealed.
I know, but I'm saying you have an opened one you can show, then it won't do it.
I was playing it yesterday.
Yep.
Out there.
See, it's too good. He can't just leave it in his room.
Can't keep but not play it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But seriously, it does help us out. So consider picking one up. Leave us a review on Board Game Geek if you're one of the Kickstarter backers, or if you're going to buy it on Amazon, leave us a review there instead, because we appreciate it and we need it. And we need all your love.
Mm.
Okay, that's it. We'll see you on Thursday for more headlines. Until then, ciao for now.
Is there nothing in his eye that I need to know? Is it true you like my girls? Do you think we look like girls? Would it cause a sexual block if you saw great big socks? Let me see ya. I keep driving faster, going through the roof. I wanna run a delicatessen love that don't make me a proof. Action camera, lipstick lights, I fit in Mercedes tights. No one knows I play guitar, wearing her red bra. Is it true you like my girls? Do you think we look like girls? Would it cause a sexual block if you saw Let me see, I keep driving faster, going through the roof. I wanna run a delicatessen love that don't make me a proof. Action camera, lipstick lights, I fit in Mercedes tights. No one knows I play guitar, wearing her red bra. Is it true you like my girls? Do you